Hello and welcome back to Gaming with the Scared Bear. This is another week of our Remnant builds until the new one comes out. The build I did this week I'm calling the Burning Blood build because it is a status build that we'll be doing. That'll be doing a ton of tick damage off of bleed along with burning, and we throw the corrosion in there just to make it so we can do a little extra damage with nullifying their armor. For our hand cannon, we'll be using the Hive Cannon. We can get this from killing the boss Exilis on Corsus. It is the world boss, and trading in the Hive Stone for it. This one will allow us to use its mod power to be able to get the corrosive damage on them, so that way we can go ahead and reduce their armor with that status effect. Next, for our ranged weapon, we'll be getting the Alternator, which we can get from defeating Brudvak and Vargar on Racem. And then you'll want to defeat Brudvak first in order to obtain the Cold Cell, which can be traded for the Alternator. And with this one, we'll be using the mod that comes with it. It's Incinerator, which will do massive burning damage and explosion damage, along with leaving an area of effect that does burn enemies that are within it. And then for our melee weapon, we'll be running the Hero Sword, which can be obtained from either killing 10 bosses in a single run of survival mode, or you can purchase it from rigs for 100 glowing fragments. The reason we'll be using this is it goes with the Razor Stone ring that we'll be using, which its heavy attacks will be applying bleed damage, and its heavy attacks are actually ranged, so it'll fit perfectly in this build, so we can still stay ranged, along with being able to apply all the status effects we want from that range. And for our armor, we'll be running the Labyrinth armor set, which you can get from using the Cryptolith sigil 3 times on the Cryptolith. And on the 3rd time it opens a portal, giving you an entrance to the Labyrinth, and you can just go collect the armor within the Labyrinth. For our necklace, we'll be using Vulcan's Detonator, which can be found on Racem. During the Warning Totems event, you have to destroy all totems while alerting all of them. This will be giving a 25% damage boost to explosion damage, so just normal hive shots will be doing extra damage along with both of our mods, and any explosion will also apply burning. Next, we'll be using the Razor Stone, which can be found on Corsus. It's a random drop. This is the one I was talking about earlier that will allow us to get the bleeding effect from our heavy attacks from our Hero Sword. Then for our last ring, we'll be running the Prismatic Diamond Ring. This one can be found on Racem after completing the Grave Siege event. This one will just be giving a 10% bonus to elemental damage, which will be giving a boost to everything except for our sword. Alright, and here we can start going and getting into our mods. So for the main ones, we'll always be using Vigor, Endurance, and Spirit, because I feel like those are the 3 main ones that help us out the best when it comes to any sort of build. It's kind of like the basics for it, the foundation. And then I would also recommend getting World Walker, which just allows you to get the minus 20% stamina consumption, which you can get from going to ROM. And this one will just be helping with getting those heavy attacks off with our Hero Sword to get the bleed, and along with getting a recovery from the world boss on ROM, that way you can have extra stamina regen as an extra 20 a second, also helping it so we can just dodge and get those heavy attacks off easily without having to worry. Then you're also going to need to get Tormentor, which you can get from applying 100 status effects. This gives plus 30% status duration, so the ticks will just continue going and getting us a ton more damage with the bleed and the burn. Next is Demolitionist, which you have to defeat 100 enemies with explosive damage, and this will just give us an extra 15% to explosive damage for most of our weapons that we'll be using. You're also going to want to get Wisdom, which you can get from Ward Prime questline. You'll need the Subject 2923 DLC. This will give plus 10% to elemental damage, so everything will be doing extra 10% on top of the ring we already have. And then we're going to want to get Catalyst as well, which you can get from defeating the Thrall or Canker boss on Corsus. This is plus 40% mod gen on enemies with status effects. And then we're also going to want to get Concentration, which you can get from the Cryptolith sigil for the first time putting the Cryptolith in, and you'll get plus 20% weapon mod duration. Then you also want to get Flash Caster. This one can be obtained from collecting 25 standard weapon mods, and this will give you a 25% boost to how quickly you can cast your own weapon mods when using them. And then you'll as well want to get Evocation, which you can get from the Circlet Hatchery by destroying the blue hives without getting hit by any of the wisps. And this is just on Corsus, and we'll give another 15% bonus to mod damage. And here I'll be showing you guys 2 boss fights. One of them will be against the Totem Father, and you'll see, as with all builds, it's pretty situational sometimes, especially with some of these bosses. Against the Totem Father, I struggled just because he moves around so much, so you can't always be getting all of the status effects on him as once. But when we do go against Brudvak and Vargar, you'll see that with them being on the ground, how quickly I can apply all of the status effects and how quickly the tick damage just takes them both down.
fresh flesh. I will pay you for this!
Well, this has been Gaming with the Scared Bear. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you guys in the next one.